should, in theory, technically should be working. I don't know.
Everyone that I like, they broke in from the report.
Just setting up the.
Oh, there we are.
You know, it does say technically, oh, Final Fantasy VII playthrough, but that's not what it is. Bastards. Okay. I'm gonna fix it on Twitch if I can during stream. Says that I'm recording. Okay, well, it says I'm live, which is cool. Alright.
Yeah. You've suddenly gotten pretty quiet on my end now, oddly.
Huh?
You were getting a little quiet on my end, so I was like...
Oh, that's not gonna be the case for this.
Yeah.
Okay, manage stream. Here we go.
Ambulance arrived as I was leaving.
Category. I mean, I guess it'd be under IRL. I don't know. There's just not going to be a... Maybe there's just 2 games? Is there just one for games? I don't know. But maybe there's one for review. So we're technically reviewing? I don't have a damn clue. So maybe now it'll actually be correct.
Just my neck pop. That felt really good and satisfying.
So technically, does the stream say it's changed anyway?
Let's talk Final Fantasy. Immediately the category and thumbnail is of 7.
Yeah, it might take a moment because I switched it over to Final Fantasy 1. So
Yeah.
it might take a moment to switch over.
It'll take some time at least.
Might take a moment. Says one viewer, so I can only assume that's you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who could it be?
Who could it be now? Okay, I need to start the music. Well, maybe once we get some more people in here, that's when I'll kick the music off and we'll have the fun times. Woo! Let me delete this off of that channel.
Streaming after hours.
Yeah, it still says Final Fantasy 7, but
actually, no, it's just Final Fantasy now.
Well, for the link I posted in
For the category, yeah.
one of the group chats, it says differently. So.
It doth fix itself. Decided it wasn't going to be the dumb one.
I'm gonna put that in the free company chat too. Why not? Maybe people will join. I don't know. That's weird.
Maybe, who knows?
Just maybe.
So we listen to two folks listen to two folks just ramble about Final Fantasy. Yay.
Something like that. Well, I'm gonna put this in that chat and we'll see what happens. Hopefully good things. Hell if I know.
I guess we'll see you in time, man.
Okay. Spooky streaming after hours.
Spooky streaming after hours.
Okay.
Just thought I had a little fun with that at least.
Oh, what? I mean, we gotta have fun somehow.
Oh yeah. I also, did you see the new trailer for the Sonic film?
I kind of want to go see it because it actually doesn't look too bad.
I will say, like, Sonic's design right now does kind of hit like the Uncanny Valley era of like, that's a bit odd.
I mean, it looks weird, but at the same time, if we have Jim Carrey going back to like Ace Ventura level roots, I'm in.
I don't know, but that was like usually when he was kind of a little tiny bit unbearable, though. Oh.
So? I mean, it'll be curious to see how it'll all play out.
I'm hoping he does try to play it more straight.
Like I said.
Otherwise, it's gonna be a rough one to go through.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be an interesting one to see.
It will be curious, and I'm not entirely sure how to, kind of take it, so to say,
Right. But I have seen it, and I mean, it doesn't look too bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, personally, the only thing I'm kind of more like I'm not in for currently is just Sonic's design himself, just because it does kind of hit like the Uncanny Valley. It's like, okay, that's no. I get what they were trying to do. It just didn't really work.
Right.
Or at least I guess the best way to put it is there are better ways you could have gone around that at least.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'm mad because someone dumped a major spoil of like Game of Thrones to me, and I'm not the happiest person right now about that.
Well, to prevent that, we're not going to talk about that.
We're not. No, I'm just gonna say some fucker did that, and I'm not pleased with them because of that.
It's just like one of my friends spoiling the end of Endgame.
Basically,
Oh,
it's
boy,
one of those
probably.
things of like you just want to like just shiv their kidney out and just basically kill them.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I don't feel comfortable shivving kidneys.
Well, that's your fault then.
I believe I leave that duty to you.
Cool, I'll get the rusted spoon out then.
Oh, I thought you were actually gonna go for like a rusted knife this time. Rusted shivving of the spoon. Got the spoon.
Oh yeah, the extra blunt kind too.
Oh. Ow! Fuck, that hurt. Sorry. Why am I apologizing?
Why are you?
You know what? And it's been a long fucking day. Not really.
That sounds like a person problem then. We also got someone here in the audience. We got 3 people currently. If you don't
Well,
2 if you don't count me.
So to say, not counting you. And not counting me because, well, I'm not even...
Never mind.
I'm watching the dashboard.
Just the one, I think.
I'm watching the dashboard, so...
Yeah, I am too.
Well, I've got my dashboard pulled up on my phone, so that way I can...
I mean,
keep
I
another
just have
moderation.
Twitch open on my computer, so that's how I'm checking from there. Anyway,
I need to pull... We're gonna give it a couple minutes to, like, have a steady stream of people kind of flowing through real quick.
I was about to say, like, how are we going to introduce this?
Well, we'll get some more people in, and then we'll start. Simple as that.
Very well.
I'm currently just packaging up the Infinite Impermanence. I had to lower the damn thing's price. It wasn't selling at 40. Sold at 35 though, so I mean I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but if I had the money to blow and I saw an Infinite Impermanence at $35, I'd buy it too. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Especially for it's just that damn good. Who the hell is calling me? Why is my brother calling me? No. Ah, damn it. Hold on, give me a sec.
All right.
Nah, good. Thank you. What? What do you want?
It's not normally how you answer the phone.
What do you want?
The second response is how you answer the phone normally.
Don't care. What do you want?
Have you gotten the mail lately?
Yeah? Mom's got a hold of basically all the mail that's related to you.
Oh, so I gotta call Mom.
Or you could just go down there and see her.
Have you gotten anything from Menards in the mail?
I haven't seen anything from Menards, but I don't know.
Oh well.
Is that really all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, kind of working on something here, so.
Okay, whatever.
Have you checked the mail lately? No shit, I'm the only one that checks it. Not really, but I mean, relatively it's close to that. Okay, gotta get some more people in. Gotta see and wait for time. I don't know.
Time for people to hear our ramblings. Like the mad folk we truly are.
Okay, need to put my phone on fucking silent for one.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, that can sit off to the side for a moment because I'm not going to worry about fully fleshing out that order yet. Not until later. But the most important part is that the card is safe. And I was about to say, and I used my last sleeve, but then I got a message saying, hey, you got a package in the mail from my father. I was just, oh, well, hey, look at that. There's my sleeves. To answer your question, Neo, yes, it was.
Fair point.
So, I just gotta kill some time. Okay, I think we're done killing time. We've killed about 12 minutes, so.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, the stream's been going on for about 12 minutes, I think. Yep, 12:31. That's how long this has been going on. Or, well, my phone dashboard says that, but the thing up top, whatever. I don't time things correctly. What do you want from me? Fuck off. So, alright. Just gonna set this down here. I gotta pull myself closer to the microphone so everybody can hear me.
Of course.
Oh! Sorry. That was loud. Let's clear my throat. Alright, well, let's go ahead and kick this off, and people will join in, and, well, they'll see it when they see it.
Indeed.
I'm also going to... hold on. One last thing before we fully get into this. Royalty-free music. I have no idea if you're going to be able to hear this or not, Ian. I don't know.
I probably won't. I'll be shocked if I will.
I mean, I wouldn't... You might be able to. It might start playing on the stream. You might actually be able to hear it. I don't know.
Well, like I said, if it's on the stream itself, I'll probably find out after the fact.
Well, yeah, if you're still listening to... If you're listening to this... Oh, that's true. Nia says they hear it a little, so... I'm not trying to make it utterly loud so it's drowning out everything, but it's just something to... Ambience, you know.
Of course.
The ambience.
So there's not just dead air.
Yeah, especially I think somebody had said that in... last month's podcast. They had said, you know what, we could get some background music in here. I said,
Well,
good
like
idea.
Well,
And royalty-free music.
When we first started this, we're new to this, so we're still learning.
Yeah, royalty-free music too. Works the best.
Indeed.
Okay. So, the point of this podcast series now that's going to be happening every 2 weeks is basically, Ian and I were discussing it one day that we had said, and it was also mentioned in the last podcast last month, of what if we were to basically take a video game series and make somewhat of a review, but not, and less of like this is an official like review, but this is how.
I would say it's less a review and more of just a discussion of it.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Just kind of just throw our general thoughts over it, more or less.
Yeah. Turn it down just a little bit more. So, and we decided, you know what? What's a good series to start off with? Well, let's start with Final Fantasy itself.
Something that we both have common ground with.
And this is gonna be a long one. So, for
We're not sure yet.
for this, and the reason this is the whole thing about this is Let's Talk basically is going to be a series that Ian and I will be doing. And it's gonna be just me and Ian. It's not. Well, there'll be times where we'll have a guest if, like, the monthly podcast is still a thing. This isn't taking over the monthly podcast. No. But this is something.
Think of this as a bi-weekly discussion.
Pretty much. And we're starting with Final Fantasy. We're starting with basically the first 15 core games, and then going back to each of the offshoot like games that relate to it.
Assuming we don't forget by then.
True. And now there are going to be obviously games that I know more about. There's going to be games that Ian knows more about. It's inevitable.
Maybe like one outlier that neither of us really know about, but we'll just give like what we think on it.
At least
more or
what
less.
we know.
Man, 8's gonna kill us when that time comes.
Eight's gonna kill us. 7's gonna kill me. You know. And somebody had actually said to me in one of the group chats I'm in on Discord, they said, "You're long overdue to play more of 7 live." And I said, "I know. I've been busy." But thankfully, that'll change soon. So.
Indeed.
So, we're kicking off this Let's Talk series with, obviously, Final Fantasy, but we're going to start it off at the very beginning with Final Fantasy 1. A game that Ian and I...
saved, I think, Squaresoft at the time from bankruptcy.
Yep. And basically the game that Ian and I Let's played in the span of an entire fucking week. Literally, it happened. First Let's Play.
A very short and simple game, at least.
And the music just got serious the moment we started doing this too. It was all like it was kind of nice and soft, and then it got serious. Just shit. All right.
It did.
Obey the music. Are you able to hear it?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were.
Like I said, I'll probably hear it after the facts.
Fair. So let's start off with Final Fantasy 1. Now, Final Fantasy 1, as Ian mentioned, basically saved Squaresoft at the time, before it was Square Enix, from bankruptcy, as it was basically as you said, it was kind of a last-ditch effort.
Yeah, that's kind of where the name came from, as it was effectively like their last game at the time.
Yep.
Or inevitably sort of saved them.
And I don't know if it was actually like Squaresoft was expecting it to become so huge.
From what I can tell, or at least from what I know, they weren't. This was just kind of a last-ditch effort of like, maybe this will save our ass. If not, then sadness.
Yeah, and lo and behold, it has become one of the most world-renowned series today.
Yeah, pretty more or less. Even if people aren't like real fans of the series, they more than likely have heard of it.
Oh yeah. And now, obviously this series, it's not for everybody. I got a couple friends that, one of my friends absolutely loves it. One of my friends is, I've played a few games here and there. Another one of my friends completely is just like, it's not for me.
And that's pretty much it. It's part of the it's kind of it's basically a JRPG. It's kind of like one of the, I guess, founders of that genre, I guess. I'm not gonna make that bold claim because I could be wrong, so don't hold that against me if I am wrong.
Right. I think at the same time it was also Dragon Quest. It was also another one of the JRPG ones.
Which I think is by the same company. I think it's by the same company too, I believe.
Yeah. Because there's always been like the classic debate of what is Square Enix's, like, what is their crowning monster? Is it the Chocobo? Is it the Moogle? Or is it the slime from Dragon Quest? So
why can't it be a mixture of all three, like a Chocobo Moogle slime?
That's something out of Bloodborne, damn it.
I mean, depends on how you put it there, eh?
That's true. And idea just popped into my head. I'll discuss that one later. I don't know.
Now you make me want to see like what a Moogle will look like in Bloodborne now.
All cute and cuddly with the right amount of insight, that thing becomes fucking terrifying.
Either way, we're digressing, I think, yeah?
Yes, we are. So, man, what's...
See that? You'll probably hear that from us like quite often in this.
As we, in our talks, we decide to ramble sometimes. So,
Yeah, or just go off tangents.
it's so true. But Final Fantasy basically came out in... And I don't know when Final Fantasy came out. And out.
Yeah.
And search.
You can tell we have not done our research on this because this wasn't like going to be a serious thing. It was just going to be like more something we were going to just kind of relaxedly do.
Yeah. So to basically kill some time, and something that originally started because the monthly podcast, I didn't manage to end up getting somebody for this month, hence why we're doing this on the last day of April. But this wasn't basically...
That's the plan.
This wasn't really spawned for the fact of, oh, well, there's no guests, so this is what we're going to do every time there's no guests. No, this is... Well, it was spawned under that pretense, but then I thought, well, why not we just do this more often? I mean, it's fun. Discussions are fun.
In a way. Yeah.
Discussions are very fun. I don't know why I think of the word fun, I can't help but think, like, just listening to Mauler getting mad at H-Bomber guy. Just stop using fun!
But an unrelated note there, for sure.
Stop using the word fun. Still a great series. Anyway. But, do you get that information? No. Also, whichever one Dawn of Souls came out too, because we'll go over the original one for the NES, and also Dawn of Souls. At least Final Fantasy 1 Dawn of Souls, and then we go to Final Fantasy 2. Obviously, it'll be 2 Dawn of Souls, but I don't really think there was any differences between 2 and 2 Dawn of Souls, like there was in 1.
I think really all that the Dawn of Souls stuff did was kind of update everything, giving it more of a current look at the time.
Right, but 1 had the option.
Maybe a bit of expansion with like with some extra side content, effectively.
Yeah, like 1 had the side dungeons, but I don't know what 2 had.
2 came with a sort of epilogue bit, like kind of a new side thing that was kind of like based on people who kind of passed away. But we'll discuss that when that time comes.
We'll discuss that in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Well, do you have it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, back to 1.
Back to discussion. Sorry.
Yes. I guess, but I guess just chat about this, like what.
Well, I was asking you what year Final Fantasy came out.
Damn it, you're gonna have to make me look up on stream. You're gonna have to make me research on stream now. Gee,
Yeah,
thank you.
I'll search it.
I'm doing it already. Don't worry.
Wow, rude.
Are we looking for the original or just like
both?
What? It doesn't matter. Right. Dawn of Souls came out July 29th of 2004.
And looks like 1 came out in 87.
That it did.
Wow. What a time. What a time.
Quite a long time indeed.
So, yeah. So, back in 87, it was obviously everything was 8-bit and everything was, well, that's the most you could really get. The 16-bit didn't.
It was a simpler time.
16-bit didn't technically come around in the Final Fantasy series until Final Fantasy VI. But that's for basically a discussion once we get to that point.
Get to that point.
Yeah.
It was basically like when... I think that was also about the era, like, not only was like 16-bit, but we also started like kind of dicking around with Mode 7 effectively, which is always a fun thing.
So, Final Fantasy 1 basically takes place in... You know, they never really state what the name of the world is.
Insert fantasy land here.
Pretty much. And basically it follows the 4 Warriors of Light as they are basically chosen by the King of Cornelia to basically go and save the his daughter Sarah from the Knight Garland. And
Which, funny enough, with the Warriors of Light, these guys really just like random passerbys who happened upon like the kingdom.
yeah,
Literal nobodies in a way.
each carrying with them, of course, depending which one you're in. Back in the original, it was orbs. In, obviously, Dawn of Souls, it was crystals. Each one carrying one of 4 crystals, or orbs.
Basically, a magical MacGuffin.
Pretty much. After defeating Garland and rescuing Sarah, basically the bridge is rebuilt, and they're sent off on this whirlwind quest to basically try to bring life back to these orbs and crystals.
More or less saving the world.
Pretty much. So along the way, of course, you know, different characters that have basically seen better times in more recent games, such as Matoya, which was still a very appreciated
Bless her.
Matoya basically being remade in Final Fantasy XIV. Spoiler for those that do.
But we'll get to that point later on.
We'll get to that point, yes. Because that's going to be a long one.
That is going to be a long one. I don't even know how we're going to go. We might have to like organize that one a bit.
Well, that one's going to be organized. It's going to be base. It's going to be base. It's going to be before Meteor / Realm Reborn. And then when we go back through everything, then we'll hit the DLC.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll reach that point when we get there. We're thinking ahead.
Which after this, I'll type the list of like how everything's going to go for this.
Yeah.
So, basically, as you play through the game, of course, you meet many characters and obviously face off against the 4 fiends: Lich, Carrie / Merilith. Because originally in Final Fantasy 1, back on the NES, she was known as Carrie.
Oh, you want to know the reason why she was known as Carrie?
What? Because the 4-letter...
It was English mistranslation for what was eventually Kali.
Ah. Well, that, and I think they could only fit in the 4-letter...
Yeah.
4-letter deal back on the
it's
NES.
kind of interesting when you get to like learning of mistranslations like that.
Oh, yeah. Tiamat and Kraken, basically, after getting all 4 orbs / crystals restored, they return back to the Shrine of Chaos, and basically, with all 4 in total, basically go back 2,000 years into the past to basically take on the wretched being known as Chaos.
Not only that, but having kind of a rematch against the fiends you already defeated beforehand, only much stronger somehow.
Oh, yes. And, it being revealed that Chaos was really Garland, who was basically stuck in a time loop that he set up on his own.
It's the most confusing thing in a nutshell that I still have not figured out of. Die in past, become demon, send fiends out to the future.
And then die in the
which demon pulled you back to the past. Go to the future, come back to your normal self, forget everything about said loop.
Die in the future, loop keeps going.
It's weird.
It is. It's definitely odd, but it's still honestly one of the most beautiful games today. So, after defeating Chaos and the loop being broken, the 4 Warriors of Light basically, it's never really stated where they go. It's stated that they
kind of just go. They kind of just ride off to the sunset, more or less.
Yeah, they kind of just return back to the future, and away they are.
Yeah.
Of
World
course,
be saved.
and of course, basically the Warriors of Light basically being turned to one Warrior of Light in Dissidia, which we'll cover that much later down the road.
Indeed. More or less, they've always kind of canonically made like one of the Warrior of Light into like a singular person.
Yeah, it's usually the Warrior, like
More or
the
less.
fighter class, you know. And
Yeah, basically.
And you know it. And another thing, of course, with this series is after basically just explaining the plot of the story and everything, we're going through and obviously kind of going with the pros, the cons, what it explains, what it doesn't explain.
More or less.
So, another thing to note is in the Dawn of Souls version that was released in, you said, what,
2004.
2004? So, it obviously included basically a more graphically enhanced version, obviously being for more of for the Game Boy Advance. And
Yep.
also included the optional dungeons that Ian and I had such a great time with.
And more or less kind of make references and homages to games later on in the series.
Yes. But they obviously, they take that and, you know, depending which one you go into, it obviously includes different bosses from different games, nods to other bosses, including the ultimate 2 bosses, Shinryu and Omega.
The best tag team of all time, in my opinion. A pair that will always be together, more or less.
Oh, yes. So, looking at basically okay, let's start with the story of Final Fantasy 1.
Okay.
So, overall, I mean, man, it's tough because this is...
It's straightforward and simple. It is effectively travelers into town. Town is a kingdom. Kingdom's princess is kidnapped by night. Travelers go and defeat night, save the princess. Well, then the world is going to problems. Travelers go to then save the world effectively.
Yeah.
It's more or less what happens. It's the most straightforward story that you get for the most part.
Right. And they never fully explain why.
I would argue there's no need to explain in this case. It's open enough that you can kind of infer what could be, and it leaves kind of to the imagination.
Right. And, you know, of course, being... And this is, of course, also, you know, as we mentioned before, this is the game that saved Square Enix's ass.
Pretty much. Very simple, straightforward game, honestly.
Yeah. One that I definitely will enjoy doing again when that time comes.
As will I.
Because it was a very fun game.
And it has, like, some interesting rice for challenges as well.
Oh, yes. Considering the fact that you can pick between a myriad of different classes, not as many as later installments definitely pick, but there's the fighter, there's the monk, let's see, there's the warrior, monk,
Thief,
thief,
you have your
white
thief,
mage,
you have
black mage,
your
red
black,
mage.
red, and white mages.
Yeah, those are the only 5 you got.
6, technically, actually.
Or, yeah, sorry. And there's, you know, there's a myriad of different, routes that you can obviously, pick, a myriad of different combinations. You could do an all red mage run if you want to, and I've known somebody that has done that, and they succeeded.
Yeah, I literally did an all mage run, and it was very fun and cathartic.
The all white mage run.
Well, I mean, I just used all the magic units, but it was fun.
Right. And our team back when we did it, oh god, years ago, was the warrior, fighter. It was the warrior, white mage, black mage, and then
Monk.
yeah, the monk. And to which still the monk killed all but one boss. Not sure how.
Don't worry about it. It's just timing and just convenience of the turn.
Turn convenience. Still will never forget. If he kills us, you've got to apologize because he's killed everything. You kill it. I don't have to apologize for shit.
Yep. Don't regret a thing for that.
Wouldn't expect you to. So, I mean, all in all, the story is very open. Leads you to basically create your own story from basically, obviously, the preset story that there is.
With a few set checkpoints, effective, here's just a few things here. You can fill in the blank as to why you're doing all this.
Yeah.
Outside of save world because destiny.
Save the world because we were told we have to.
Because you had the plot MacGuffin in your pocket.
Pretty much. And it also introduced 3 things that kind of stayed as staples in other games, 2 of which definitely did, but one of them kind of fell into discrepancy, really.
They all became staples in the rest. It's just all kind of depending on how things turn out.
Right.
It kind of changes from entry to entry.
Yeah, such as the boat, the airship, and the canoe.
Not where I was going, but sure.
I had a feeling you weren't on the same page here.
You caught me off guard there, I'll admit.
Well, hey, better to catch you off guard than to catch you on guard.
Yeah, fair point.
Makes things more fun that way.
Indeed.
So, yeah, I mean, the airship basically became a massive staple and is in every single Final Fantasy game to date. Sometimes
I want to say there might be a game where there's never been an airship, but I can't think of it off the top of my head, honestly.
fair, in which sometimes there might not be. You know.
Very much.
Well, I mean, it's just. Okay, sorry. No, you know, the game's pretty well built. The combat is rather fluid. You know, it's very
It's very simple.
yeah, simple,
Effectively,
basically
for
turn-based.
turn-based combat.
Where more recent entries of the series have taken a more free-flow combat.
Yeah, trying to make it more like action-oriented,
Yeah,
which is fine. It kind of helps show an evolution of an evolution, effectively.
Yeah, to which other games have included combat like from turn-based to more like the active time battle gauge, which didn't technically come into its own until what, 5?
Technically 4, actually.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if we're going in order, like in proper order, I guess 5. No, I guess Final Fantasy II Japan was 4 here. So I mean, anyway,
It's a weird. We're getting ahead of ourselves because if we start having to talk the semantics of like East versus West releases, we will be here all night.
that's true. So, looking at basically like the more looking at basically now characters, there's Garland / Chaos, there's Sarah, there's Matoya, there's Blicky the pirate, the Elven Prince who's in basically kind of like a coma.
You got like your evil like Elf King Estos,
Yeah, you got Astos, you
who
got
is wanting to be, who has like some plan, but it's never really explained what that plan is. I don't know.
you have Biblos. Wait, that's 5. Never mind. Sorry.
Say,
Seems a little off on that one. Yeah.
man, you get a lot of people, including a name drop of a sort of a staple-esque character throughout the series later on.
Oh.
You might know. You probably don't remember, maybe, but
It has been
some people will get what I meant.
It's been a while. What are you talking about?
Sid.
Ah, yes, Sid. Yeah, Sid has been in every Final Fantasy game except for... I don't think he was in one of them.
There are like a couple that he has never really been a part of or has been mentioned ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, first Final Fantasy is when he was ever mentioned, effectively. He was just a name.
Yeah. And in later games, obviously, he becomes such a great character in the later games.
Very interesting characters, for sure, depending on from each series.
Right. And then there is also, of course, the 4 Fiends, Lich, Carrie / Merilith, Kraken, Tiamat being basically another staple within later games too.
I would say sort of, but not entirely. Technically, all of them are kind of staples because you do kind of see iterations of them like floating in and out throughout the series, but just usually not in the same light as this game, effectively.
Right. You know, you get a very wide cast of characters, and you can't really say no to that, you know.
Oh yes.
I mean, the airship hidden in the desert.
Which is admittedly a nice cool little scene that they do with that.
Oh man, I forgot he was in the desert until I was in the desert.
What was that?
Sorry, got caught mid-yawn.
I heard.
Shut up. So, another thing is... Let's see, what did we discuss? We discussed characters, combat. We discussed the story, the world. I'd say poor navigational skills, but that's a personal thing.
But that is more of a player issue than a game issue.
That's more of you getting pissed off at me.
Of you intentionally ignoring me.
That was... I thought I was going the right way. Fuck off.
How many times do you have to hear the, no, you're going the wrong way? Literally, it's the opposite direction. Before it has to click in that you're literally going in the opposite direction.
You're going toward...
That is less of you think you're going the right way and just willful ignorance.
True. And another thing that Dawn of Souls introduced, especially with the optional dungeons, is obviously like the stronger gear, and one of them being a personal favorite staple throughout the entirety of the games, the ultimate weapon.
Kind of a fun little nod to the kind of like shooting around here and there everywhere.
Yeah.
Always constantly evolving.
Oh yes, especially the ultimate weapon being in Dawn of Souls. The ultimate weapon basically did damage based on your health, if I recall that correctly.
Something like that. It was effectively just like, and now you can use this to shit over everyone and make them sad.
And the ecstatic fun that was when acquiring that after beating... I think that was after beating Shinryu in the Wind one.
No, he was in Final... Shinryu wasn't there. He was in the one before. And you literally just fought, like, Death Gaze, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Death Gaze. Kite
Evil
Man.
Kite.
Yeah, the Evil Kite. Let's not forget, obviously, another fan favorite, the Ghost Train, but that's for a later time, too.
We'll cover him when the time comes.
Love that Ghost Train. And, you know... It's definitely interesting. The game is... It's beautiful.
It is nice.
It's
very simple, but very nice for that reason.
Right. Whether you're playing the original NES one, whether you're playing Dawn of Souls for the Game Boy Advance, or even playing the ROM version of it, you know, obviously.
Or, like, any of the other, like, remakes of Dawn of Souls that they, like, made later on.
Right. Whichever one you're playing, nonetheless... Final Fantasy 1 is a beautiful start to an amazing series that has spanned basically time and generations of different games.
And still going to this day, which
Yeah.
I think because I've been hearing rumors of a 16 that they're making.
No, let's not rush into that one.
I know, I'm just mentioning, just to show like that there's a long legacy that's still going.
Oh yeah, and this legacy is only gonna get stronger. And with
Yeah.
different, like, obviously with different games, and obviously the offshoot games, the ones that, you know, the games are beautiful.
It is, actually. It is a nice way of, like, kind of being able to tell medium. It's a nice art medium, really, in terms of how it's been able to show its own way of telling stories.
And honestly, I mean, the game... I know this is going to sound odd, at first, and everything, but these games, in some way, they've become a part of people's lives. They've touched the souls of so many people that have played them.
I think there's nothing wrong with that. I believe other people would agree with that.
And it's...
In some respect.
And everybody has their own favorites of the series. Ian's being 6.
Yeah.
So say, let's admit, though you love 14, 6 is still your favorite.
6 will always be the top of the mountain for me.
And for me, honestly, like, if I were to put a top 3, like, your top 3 would be 6, and then 14, and then, I don't know what you would have for 3.
10.
10?
Yep.
That's fair. Mine would be, going from 1 to 3, would have to be 4. Because still love 4 to this day. Will always love 4.
Of course.
15, because 15 is beautiful. And though I know you're gonna disagree with me on this one, I know you will.
I think I know what you're about to say, so yeah, I will disagree.
You're gonna disagree, but I think it's safe to say that at this point, everybody's got their own opinions, Ian. And, and it's also at a time between two of them.
And, that's fine. People can't have their opinions. think strongly differently about some things, but that's fine.
Yeah. And it's like a tie for 3 has to be either 12 is basically 12 and 14.
That's fair.
If I were to go to 5, I'd have to say probably Final Fantasy 3 and then probably
I think we're pretty safe right now with just 3.
yeah. So we go too far into that. Ooh, that's not gonna end well.
It'll be a rabbit hole that we'll never escape.
Though I will say I think another one that you do personally enjoy is Dirge of Cerberus.
That is an offshoot branch, and I will say that is a lovely guilty pleasure for me.
Right. I'm just saying that's probably in one of your top 5.
Wouldn't say top 5. It's definitely my top 10.
That's fair. But these games have spanned generation. They span consoles from the NES all the way up to basically the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And
So basically the modern consoles now.
yeah, it started from basically almost the beginning of games. I'm not saying it's gone all the way back from, well, let's go all the way back to, the Commodore 64 and
Does it say like the Atari?
the Atari. But
yeah, like it was kind of in the, I guess you could say, renaissance of like when it was starting to like truly rise up. When gaming culture was starting to truly get like kind of inspected in like the public eye for a lot of people.
yeah. And honestly, I think that's one of the best things that, it's a series that is become so world-renowned and so universally loved by so many people that it's... I mean...
Yeah. It's nice to be able to see something get like that much like attention and just overall exposure and knowledge to like a lot of people effectively.
Especially the fact that it all started because Squaresoft at the time was basically about to go bankrupt.
And it's basically a literal Final Fantasy.
And that's what started basically the beginning to the greatest, arguably one of the greatest series basically in the world.
To us, at least. Some people may think otherwise, and that's fine.
Just try, and as we said, everybody has their own opinions.
And we support it.
Oh yeah.
We support those opinions.
You don't really support one of mine, but hey,
Semantics.
semantics. But it's... I mean, there's really not much more I can really say about it. It's
Nor can I, for the most part.
It's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful series that I feel like everybody at least should try.
Indeed. No matter which entry they start with.
Yeah. And, there's the differences of the series of like, oh, this is the weakest one of the series. And, oh, this is universally the greatest one of all. We all know which one we're talking about here.
Yeah, I do.
But no matter which one that you start with, or no matter which one that you whichever one, you can watch videos on it, but watching videos is one thing on it.
Experiencing is a completely different subject altogether.
Oh yeah. So I think with that, I think this fun little chapter for at least the first of this Let's Talk is come to its close.
We will definitely have more to say in later entries for sure.
Oh yes,
like I said, so with how simple this one is, there's not a whole lot to cover.
Yeah, and later ones will definitely they'll definitely be more fleshed out and more to be discussed as time goes
on.
So
yeah.
To everybody that joined and to everybody that kind of came in and everything, and to everybody that's listening to this.
And for people later on to stumble upon this,
yeah.
We hope you enjoyed our mad ramblings.
I've been Eric, and that's been Ian, and we'll see you in the next one.
Take care, everyone.